What's the weirdest thing that happened to you while sitting on the toilet? Just last week, I was sitting there on the toilet and I felt something like a drop of water roll down as if from the rim down the bottom part of my bum. I lifted my leg and just kinda wiped the general area with some tissue. As I continued, it happened again, but this time it felt more like wet hair brushing along my bum toward that inguinal area there. So I got up and looked in the bowl to see this huge ass centipede hanging onto the inside of the rim. I shit you not. I don't know whether to laugh or be absolutely ducking horrified. Oh my god, I would have died. This didn't happen to me, but I caused it to happen to someone else sitting on the toilet. It was during the first week at a new summer job and I got a massive migraine. Mine are usually accompanied by tremendous nausea, so I usually end up vomiting lots. I was about to leave early to go home and realize I have to puke before I go. I run into the bathroom. 2 of the 3 stalls are occupied. I rush into the empty one on the end, lift the seat, and unload breakfast and lunch. It came out so quickly and ferociously that I couldn't really aim properly and sprayed most of it all over the floor and walls. After most of it shot out, I flush. Toilet is clogged. Ducker starts overflowing. Toilet water and vomit pour over the side. The floor in the bathroom is slanted, away from my stall and towards the middle one. All my puke is now moving towards the man squatting in the center stall. His life gets worse. My vomiting caused the dude on the other side of him to also start throwing up as well, and he's got a slanty floor too. Center man now has 2 people vomiting on either side of him and all their vomits are streaming straight for him. He just starts screaming. Then I run away. I was in Nicaragua and I got a nasty parasite. I woke up in the middle of the night and realized I needed to be in the bathroom stat. I took off running before I remembered to grab shoes, but I had already started shitting my pants, so it was too late to turn back. I reached a bathroom that had a few inches of water on the ground, a toilet with no seat, and no running water. Holy shit. Literally and figuratively. Pure fluids. On top of all that, there was a hole in the ceiling, and when I turned on the light, a bat flew out and started freaking out and flew in circles over me. I just sat and prayed that God would kill me. At work last week, some guy in the stall next to me was constantly talking to himself. Or the toilet. Or the toilet paper. And he is also constantly wiping himself, getting more paper off the roll, wiping more, for 6 or 7 minutes straight. First flush, oh duck, please don't clog. Second flush doesn't go down either. Pipes finally cleared after 5 or 6 flushes. And then he staggers out of the bathroom, still mumbling to himself the entire time. Without washing his hands. Sat down, pulled out phone, opened Temple Run. Am on course to top my high score, over 4 million. Have to sit and keep playing. Play for long time, play until I lose. Finish my business, stand up, realize both legs are completely asleep. Somehow manage to get off the seat, only for my legs to give out. Collapse, falling headfirst into the stall door, yes, at work. Had to explain to boss why I now have large bump on head. Sir, I don't think you fully understand the gravity of the situation. Once you're on a roll in Temple Run, you can't just stop playing. I'm pretty sure I heard someone masturbating in the next stall. A lot of groaning and grunting. Sorry, wasn't masturbating, it was just an overly large toddler that didn't want to come out. When I was in the dorms my freshman year of college, I sat in the communal bathroom to take a shit and some guy came and sat down in the stall next to me and started singing. After a minute or so he stopped and said he always had to sing to get his poop started in public places, as he used to not be able to poop unless it was at home. I wanted to let him know that singing to start pooping was weirder than not being able to poop in public, but who am I to ruin his accomplishment? What was he singing? So in the bathroom lived this big-ass black spider. He had a web on the magazine rack next to the toilet, and we lived for weeks in peace. So one day I'm on the toilet, and I pick up a puzzle magazine and open it to where I'd left the pen. And the damn big-ass spider was in the magazine, on that page, and slides right out onto my crotch. I jumped up, screamed, and he slid off me into the toilet, where I flushed him. Then I felt awful for a long time. I could have saved the poor guy, but in my panic, I wanted him away. I once went paralyzed and went blind while attempting to take a shit. I'm in class at the moment so can't give the full story, but I might edit it in while at lunch. It was a horrifying experience, to say the least. This just happened the other day. I go in the bathroom, sit down on the throne to pee, when I get that feeling that I'm not alone in the bathroom. While still sitting, I pull back the shower curtain and see my youngest sister just standing in the shower. Apparently she went in there planning to jump out at our mom, who always goes in there when she comes home from work to brush her teeth, and didn't know what to do when I came in there to pee. It was weird. Your mom sounds like a secret cigarette smoker. I was 16-ish, using the restroom at my local theater when a 3-year-old boy climbed under my stall door. Clearly, my first instinct as he came through was to use my foot to keep his head from entering, but I worried if someone came in, they'd think I was attacking him or something. I tried telling him to get out, but he just stared at me while I quickly finished and then bolted. His parents owned it, so he wandered around unsupervised all the time. He'd be about 16 today. I wonder if he's a total perv. I entered Michael's, the arts and crafts store, while finishing my McNasty's breakfast meal. After about 15 minutes of searching through the store and not finding what I needed, I felt my stomach start to gargle, letting me know it was time to do the deed. Now, I hate shitting in public bathrooms because I'm a firm believer of home field advantage, but time was ticking and figured Michael's arts and crafts should have clean men's restrooms. Of course I choose the handicap stall so I have enough room for comfort. So I'm sitting there, already dropped the kids off at the pool, and was just getting ready to wipe when the door to the bathroom slams open. Almost immediately a horrendous smell wafted through the room. The person hurried to the stall next to me. While I'm sitting there, I'm looking under the crack to see why the smell was so bad. Yes, creeping. First the shoes come off, then the socks, then the pants, and then at the same ducking time the whitey-tighties and a cow patty-sized pancake of shit smacked the ground. At that point I was gagging, trying to wipe as fast as I could to get out. But it was like one of those dreams when you're fighting and your punches are slow and ineffective. Eventually I got out, but I will always remember the day an old dude shit himself at Michael's, but I'll mainly remember that sound that shit made when it smacked the floor. When I was 8 or so, a frog hopped into my underwear. I guess my mom found it in our bathtub the day before, and thinking it was a bath toy, she scooped it up with the other toys and put it in this little bin of toys we had. Then when I was sitting on the toilet, it hopped right into my underwear. I heard a rumbling and a high-pitched whine coming up from beneath the floor. Suddenly a drill bit as wide as my thumb popped out through the tile not 30 centimeters in front of me. The idiots working in the store downstairs had drilled straight through the ceiling and into my bathroom. A pretty strong earthquake happened while my husband was on the shitter. Strong earthquakes are not common or likely around here. Mid-Atlantic eastern US. Was that the DC earthquake that broke the Washington Monument? I believe it was when I was in Banff. Anyways, me and my family were on a hike when we decided to stop for a bathroom break. I went in, dropped my drawers and sat down. I was about to unload when I heard a quack. Turns out there was a duck trapped at the bottom of the toilet and it couldn't get out. Did you save him? I need to know what happened to the duck. Shitting in the mall food court restroom and a fire alarm went off. At first I figured it was a joke and continued to play on my phone. A minute later my girlfriend is calling me asking if I made it out safe. Talk about a shitty ride home. You mean people actually evacuate when the fire alarm goes off at your mall? I worked at a mall for nearly a decade, and despite hearing the alarm go off dozens of times, sometimes for legit fires, and I never saw anyone leave the mall. The fire was in the food court at one of the restaurants. Whilst I was sitting on the pan in Walmart, the lock was broken on the door. Just after dropping a deuce I noticed the door opening slowly. There stood a young boy, maybe 12, with Down syndrome. He stared at me and said, "Are you okay?" Startled, I said, "Yeah man, I'm good." He smiled and closed the door. I hear him walking about, and in no time I notice a roll of toilet paper being pushed towards me under the cubicle door. By this point I was scared and confused. "I noticed you ran out of toilet paper, sir." Then he leaves. That dude was a hero. He saved me doing a penguin walk to the next cubicle. I was visiting relatives in India and I woke up at like 3 a.m. cause I had to take a shit. So I go to the bathroom, and I see this huge spider just chillin' on top of the toilet. So, I proceeded to sit backwards and take a dump, all while this spider is just looking at me. Never use that toilet again. Freaking spiders, man. Flushed while sitting down and got transported into the Ministry of Magic. You're a pooper, Harry. Harry Potter. Harry Pooper. I had a friend that had recently moved to a new area and asked me to come stay with him a few days while he was settling in. I am driving a few hours away from home on the Cumberland Parkway when I feel that rumble in my tummy. Oh god, I speed up a little while simultaneously clenching my butt cheeks in hopes a gas station will appear over the horizon. I pull off the next exit and race towards the gas station located close by, clenching cheeks of rage. I walk into the gas station and it's like the scene of Dumb and Dumber where Harry hits the guy with the salt, straight out of a movie truckers/local rednecks. I proceed to the bathroom, still clenching both cheeks. So Lord, let me hold this baby, and I run into the closest stall and unload. Ah, the quick feeling of relief. I notice something in my peripheral vision, and about 6 inches from my head is the biggest cock I have ever seen. Disgusting glory hole. I sat down to take a piss. I always sit when I'm at home. I have no wish to wipe my own piss stains away, had to shit, and sat there for 50 minutes because I didn't stop. Hey another sitter. I was wondering if I was the only guy on earth who sat at home, up high. Posted this in a dead thread. Here is a piece of it. I was stationed in Japan for 2 years. Nearing the end of my tour in Japan, the big 9.0 earthquake hit. This is how it went down for me. It was about 2:15 in the afternoon, can't remember the time, hardly wore a watch, and I was about to head out to a location to do some work. I told my coworkers to just wait up for me, as I had an urgent need to shit. I make my way over to the stall and expel the biological warhead. While still on the toilet, pants around my ankles, the stalls begin to shake. Okay, just another earthquake, we've had plenty of these. Wait it out. It didn't stop. Imagine horrible turbulence on an aircraft, if you will. The walls began to shake violently, dust from the ceiling tiles began to descend, and the lights were flickering. As shitty water from the toilet was being splashed about, I had decided there and then it was time to wipe and go. Lights go out. Shit. I can't find the toilet paper. I frantically search for the TP, wipe, and stumble like a drunkard out of the bathroom. People are hanging around in the hallways trying to stand up. I see people starting to evacuate. Then it occurs to me I didn't flush. At this point only emergency lights were on and it was pitch black in the bathroom. I didn't care if I died or not. All I could think about was not being that guy who shit and ditched with shit water all over the floor. Mission accomplished, toilet flushed, I think. Well, first I sat down on the shitter. Next I got on Reddit, of course. What followed was a usual shit, however when I stood to wipe I came to the realization that my pants were still on. Duck. So much redding you shit yourself. One of the many unfortunate side effects of Reddit. A bleeping frog was in the toilet. What did you do? Sat on the toilet, never looked in before, heard the ribbit, and literally threw myself off the seat. For some reason I was grossed out and scarred for life. Now I always gotta check for damn frogs. I had just fallen down a few days before and scraped my head. My hair was very short at the time, so you could see a gnarly scab on the back of my head. One day, I sat down to poop, and it was a stubborn bastard, a boss turd, if you will. I apparently didn't have much fiber in my diet at the time, so I was pushing like a soon-to-be mother. Then I heard/felt this pop. It was my scab. I reopened it from straining so damn hard. TL, doctor, strain pooping reopened a scab on my head. Oh, I've also played Go Fish with someone in the stall next to me. I sleep naked. Woke up in the middle of the night and I had to shit, so I went and sat down on toilet. Was there for about a minute, then I hear a noise downstairs. I dismiss it as nothing until I hear footsteps coming up the stairs. I look around for a weapon but I could find nothing, so I took the TP off the rack. I pitch in a recreational baseball league so I have a strong arm. I burst out the door and launch the TP at the intruder's face, then hurl myself at him. We wrestle but he manages to get up and run down the stairs and out the door. I called the cops and he got caught. TLDR, nakedly wrestled a robber after launching a roll of TP at him. I fainted. I'm not sure why, but it was really creepy because as soon as I sat on the seat I knew how the night was going down. Taking a shit while reading this thread, I'm scared for my life. When you gotta go, you gotta go. One time I was in the bathroom at school taking a dump and I was wearing my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles underpants. Halfway through my dump a kid goes into the stall next to mine and compliments me on my TMNT boxers. That is truly horrifying. I was taking a shit at my brother-in-law's house. It was a big one so I wanted to find something to read. I found this book of poetry in a basket on his toilet tank. I opened up and read the dedication page. It turns out my brother-in-law has a gay lover and is a meth cook. Gay. Lover? Have we watched the same Breaking Bad, or did you get the gay porn parody, Breaking Brad? I think what he meant was the guy who helped him cook the meth and wrote the book, can't remember his name now, but Jesse killed him, was in love with Walt. I was peeing and there's a glass block wall right next to the toilet for the shower, something moving caught my eye. I look and literally 3 inches away from my face was a huge palmetto bug. I just jumped up, screamed and ran. While I was still peeing. I'm a 22-year-old who not only peed on myself but in my room and down the hallway. Found a live snake wrapped around the back of the toilet once in the office where I worked. Almost sat down to do my thing but I did a double take, I'm glad I did. I believe that the snake wasn't of the poisonous variety, it was dark/light brown colored. Another time I was doing my thing in a different office bathroom and noticed a small, bit less than an inch long, scorpion running along the floor to the corner. Tight butthole mode was immediately activated. Never got out of a bathroom that fast before. My office is in Florida, I knew we had snakes but not scorpions. I'm not born and raised here. Ate 2 boxes of Fruity Pebbles in around 3 hours and had rainbow-colored shit. I still don't know how I should react to it. I was at this coffee shop with a friend of mine, went to take a shit, and this couple stuck up the place while I was doing it. Sup Vince, thanks for listening to another episode of Reddit X. Subscribe and activate the notification bell so you won't miss any stories. Feel free to share your own stories below in the comments. Have a good day.